So my name's Matt. I'm 29 years old and come here from Melbourne in Australia, and I'm here studying physics and I've been here for 6 months.
So why did you move to Leipzig?
Because I wanted to study physics here. Getting to that point where I wanted to live overseas, and at that age where you either do it now or it becomes more difficult down the track. So I was studying in Australia philosophy, sort of was falling more and more into the philosophy of physics. Then I looked up physics degrees here in Germany, and in Leipzig it's taught in English. I guess it was a long decision-making process. So I knew in May that this course existed and would start in October, but I booked my flight to come here in September. So 3 weeks before I was actually to technically start, and in the time in between I was sort of constantly thinking, deliberating about whether I wanted to come, and Leipzig kept turning up in random places. So in a book I was reading about the Arthurian myth, it came up because the pilgrimages here, the Rig Veda and the Rig Impera, I think the names are, intersect here in Leipzig. So Leipzig came up in this mythology book. It came up in Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis because it was first published here. Then I did some research on Leipzig and found that the old coal mines around the city had been rehabilitated and turned into lakes. So that had a personal connection to my history in mining as an engineer in Australia. And yeah, I guess I like the symbology of the rehabilitation process because I was somewhat wanting to come to Leipzig for a bit of growth, metamorphosis and rehabilitation all at once, I guess. It's more affordable here, I guess, is one thing. I also wanted to learn German. It's a really, I think, a wonderful language for philosophy, poetry and so forth. So that was a good reason also to come. Also, I guess, to experience another culture, and yeah, I ended up here.
What do you need to know before you come to Leipzig?
Not to listen to any Western German that says that it's a weird city with a weird accent and that you won't fit in because it's conservative. It's totally, I mean, yeah, sure, they may have a weird accent, but it's not conservative at all. Very liberal, and I think a really free city. There's a vibe here that I haven't experienced before. One of the biggest things I noticed once I got here after a while was that there is a lack of corporate culture here. And with that lack of corporate culture seems to be a lack of anxiety. In its place is a lot of artists and musicians and students and so forth. It's a very creative city in a place where it seems people don't really perceive barriers to things, getting things done, and they pick up projects or work or pursue things that they want to do. Don't get caught up in the Monday to Friday hamster wheel as perhaps happens in other cities.
Tell me about something funny or weird that happened to you here.
One of the funniest things I guess I've noticed since I moved here is, in keeping with the liberal nature of people from Leipzig, is that they use the toilet in public parks and spaces relatively freely. And there seems to be quite a comfort with nudity. And I was at a VG party, so a house party recently, and was waiting in line for the toilet, and this person came up and started speaking to me in Deutsch, and I was obviously like, can you perhaps speak English? Because I can't understand. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, I just wanted to check whether you're okay with me coming to the toilet with you. And I thought that was hilarious, but at the same time I said to him, look, it's fine, but before we go in you should know that I actually date men, so if you're uncomfortable with that, then perhaps I'll just go in on my own. And I genuinely thought that he would decline and say, look, no, I'll wait. But he was like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. I thought you were a straight guy, and it would have been two straight guys just bonding over going to the toilet together. I didn't even think that you would date men, but sure, that's fine. And I totally freaked out, and then totally expected him to be not okay with it. And then, yeah, insisted that he go before me because I couldn't go with him. I think that's a testament to how comfortable people are here with just nudity and things beyond that, I guess. I think it's great, but it's not something that I've sort of grown up around, I guess.
So give me a recommendation of something to do or to see in Leipzig.
I think definitely what's going for this city is the outdoor culture here. So the lakes in the summer, they're beautiful. And to see the lakes with the connection to their past as mines, I think is really interesting to see how humanity can work with the environment. And I found out about that through my own research about Leipzig before I came. I think that some of the locals I've spoken to have certainly talked about the history of Leipzig and how it was formerly a mining city. And there was a uranium mine nearby as well in Gera, and when that all sort of closed down, there was concerns about the economic viability of the city. But I guess that's made space for the artists and musicians that have populated it since. So.